Hey there. Hey, y'all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you watching and viewing this episode. I am Adrienne Simpson, and I am your host of The Warm Handshake with Adrienne Simpson. And today, my guest is Shana Campbell. Y'all welcome Shana to the show.
Hey, let's go. Welcome. I'm happy for the welcome and thank you for the invitation. I'm so happy to be here to talk about the warm handshake. This is awesome.
Listen, thank you so much for that. And y'all,
Mhm.
if you forgot, or if I forgot to remind you, the Warm Handshake really is about businesses, entrepreneurs, people that I know, that I think you need to know too. And Shana Campbell is one of those folks. Shana, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please tell the people who you are and what you do.
Absolutely. So, like Adrian said, I'm Shana Campbell, and I always say I'm your resident, brilliance bestie, right? So I'm the person who helps to bring your brilliance to life. And that could be in the form of a course, a digital product. But I also get the privilege of also working on the corporate side and working with organizations to help them actually train their leaders, their staff, and really helping them bring their brilliance in terms of like leadership to life. So what that looks like is sometimes I'm building out courses or workshops. Sometimes we're facilitating courses and workshops. We're doing all of those things, e-learning, AI. Like right now, today, it's kind of running the gamut because of, what the landscape looks like in corporate and also in entrepreneurship.
I love it. So you just rattled off a whole mouthful, friend. For the people watching at home, I just want to share a couple of things. So, number one, Shana, I love you, friend. You are just an
Mhm.
amazing entrepreneur, amazing person. But y'all, Shana is a number one. She's the expert that I refer other experts to when they want to capture their brilliance, right? When they want to create a course or a series of courses, or friends, if you are thinking about defining what your mastermind looks like and how you can then present and put that in front of your audience, Shana is your person, right? And then you also mentioned, though, your work with like corporations and larger organizations. Can you talk to us just a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually, that's how I started my business. So in 2017, it seems so long ago, right? I got started. I was working actually in my dream job. And so I say that like my dream job was like the segue to me doing exactly what I'm doing now, which is something that I'm absolutely passionate about and I love. And I like to say that I'm a bridge from where people are in terms of their leadership and in professional development journey, and even sometimes personal, to where they would like to be. And that happens through us working together to do a course or a training. And so sometimes like organizations come to me when they're like, we need to train our staff, and sometimes they know what they want to train them on and
Mm.
sometimes they don't know. So a lot of what we're doing sometimes is helping them figure out like, what do y'all actually need. And then once you actually know what you need, then kind of moving forward in that process to actually design and develop the training. And sometimes we're handing that over to their internal teams. And then other times we're actually coming in and facilitating. So it really depends on the size of the organization, kind of what kind of team they have, their capacity, because, sometimes we're just supporting an organization that has capacity. They have the people, but they just got way too much work. And so we're coming in to augment that work. So it looks different in different ways. But what I like to say is that we help them go on their journey from the leader that they are today to the leader that they want to become.
Oh, I love that. I love it, love it, love it. You mentioned several key nuggets there, but the one I'll really kind of land on is staff augmentation, right?
Yes.
And so you said a mouthful, because there are consulting companies, right? Large and small, who are building their entire book of business being staff right? Augmentation for other companies. And so for our entrepreneurs listening out there, if you've got a special skill, a talent, your zone of genius, whatever that is, right? You can really find businesses that are looking for someone that does the things that you do in a contract in a staff aug way, right?
Yep.
What would you say in terms of like the market, um, uh, regarding how people are looking for that type of work? Like where did you first, I
Mhm.
guess, find your first contract?
Yeah, I actually found my first contract in staff augmentation from someone I knew. So they were like, "Oh, hey, somebody left my job, and this is the work that she was doing, and it was in
Mm,
training in their training and learning department." And she was like, "I would probably need you for X number of months, right?" And so I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And I was still, running my business and working this particular role. And then she rolled out, she left, and I was like, Okay, like it was like a month, not even, I wasn't
Wow.
even there a month. And I was like, oh, what we about to do? Like, like I done shifted work so I could take on this role. And so what ended up happening was they end up keeping me on. So I end up negotiating directly with the CEO to stay on for the role until they found somebody new. And she actually offered me the job. And so I always say to people who are like consulting, whether you're doing this as a side hustle or something else, man, listen, there's so much opportunity out there. Like if you do a
Yes.
great job, sometimes they're going to basically just say, well, hey, do you want to step into this role? Um,
Listen.
it gives you a unique perspective to see like what the company's all about before you got to sign on the dotted line for good. And
Yes.
so I turned it down, not because of the company, just because I wanted to, remain an entrepreneur. But I stayed on for probably like 5 months. And then, so once that transitioning person came in, I had to train her on the stuff that I was doing. So like, you think it's going to be like, they say a couple of months. And then the next thing you know, you're there for 6 or 7 months in that process. And then I've done this probably 7 times now. And I'm currently in, I finished up a interim director role in December of last year. I was there for 5 months for someone who went on maternity leave.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm now currently an interim CLO of an organization down in DC. And so that happened all crazy, but I was coming on to be staff augmentation. Like they had people,
Yeah.
they just wanted me to help out. And then, things hit the fan. And here we
Listen.
are. So I say you pretty much start with your current network and just see like where they currently are and what types of organizations you actually want to work in, like the industries and stuff like that. But really, it's been my network that has come out to me and been like, or someone I know, and it's like,
Yeah.
hey, I need some help in this area. Do you know somebody? But I also had to talk about what I do
Right.
in order for people to know that I'm available for that work.
Friend, you are running this down. You are teaching a master class on how to transition. Y'all, if you listen to this and you're trying to figure out how can you lead a 9 to 5? Oh my gosh, what are you going to do? How are you going to find work, right? Here are some of the answers for you. If you are thinking that you have, your zone of genius and you can only do it for one company, right, at a time, here is the answer for you, friend. And also, if you're concerned about how you're going to get business, how you're going to build up your reserves, how you can grow your business if you're even in business now, right? How you can grow and expand. And she talks about relationships. Here's the answer. Y'all, look, there's nuggets upon nuggets upon nuggets. What I'll tell you is that we've got a little bit more to talk about in just a moment. We'll take a break and we'll have a note from our sponsor. We'll be right back.
Hey there! Are you an executive or entrepreneur looking to increase your income and revenue? Well, you've come to the right place. We're the LinkedIn Pros, a specialized agency that's all about crafting personalized LinkedIn strategies to help you achieve your revenue goals. Our amazing CEO, Adrian, is a pro at empowering business owners to position their brands for maximum impact. And she's also a whiz at helping professionals land their dream high-paying jobs. We're here to help you build your professional brand, expand your network, and achieve your wildest career aspirations. Don't settle for just getting by. Give us a shout today, and let's get started on your journey to success.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you so much. Again, I want to welcome y'all back to the Warm Handshake with Adrian Simpson. We are speaking with Shana Campbell, y'all, CEO of Think, Learn, Engage, and
Launch your brilliance.
Launch It brand. And she has been kind enough to give us a masterclass in how you can transition from your 9 to 5 into some lucrative contracts. And you were just talking to us about relationships and how those are key in building and growing your business. Talk a little bit more about how we can leverage those for partnership.
Absolutely. So it's crazy that we're on this podcast here called the Warm Handshake, right? Like it's no, the synergy is crazy, but really that's what it is. And so my business up to this point has been based off of referrals, right? So I have one really strong referral partner, and then I use a referral system that I'm currently building out a little bit more.
Okay.
But this one strong referral partner was the initial person I was talking about when she was like, hey, I'm at this job. Do you want to come on as this interim for me? And then she rolled out after the month. That was her.
Okay.
And so she's been the person who's continuously, found contracts, called on me, referred me to people. She's how I got my the last role last year that ended in December. And so when you're talking about relationships, she and I met at a previous job. And so I always say to people, and we were talking a little bit off camera about burning bridges. And so when we think we're like, we want to roll out that job and we like, I'm coming in here like Jerry Maguire, I'm knocking everything over. Who's coming with me? It's like, it sounds like a good idea in theory, but that's probably not what you want to do. And the reason why I say that is because there were some relationships I had at a job where I thought I would never talk to these people again. I was like, oh, it's dead in the water. Honestly, they have brought me in for like 2 additional engagements over the years, but it's been like 5 years since I worked there.
Wow.
But we never even talked about like what happened and why it was so tenuous or anything like that. I just built my bridge. I got over it. And then they reached out to me on LinkedIn and was like, hey, I see you're still in this area. Do you want to come in and you want to talk about this? And I say that to say is that sometimes it seems like people don't value what you do, but people are watching. And so that's why, you never know who knows who. And so if you're connected to someone on LinkedIn and you're calling them and you're asking them for a hint, warm handshake, and you're like, I may not rock with you, but the person I need is on the other side of you. And I would really love if you could introduce me to them. And so sometimes if when you're in the moment of some tough situations, you may think like, I'm never going to talk to them again. But I would take a look at it on the other side. It's like, how can I actually leverage this situation for my next? And if you think about it like that, it will help you navigate through. And then building those relationships is really based on what do you know them to be good at, good in, at, or interested in. Yeah. Because it doesn't have to be professional. They might be interested in cats. You send them full, cool cat videos, or you're going to a cat convention, or you're seeing something cute with a cat on it or a mug. I would say to just nurture those relationships like you would want to be nurtured, so that when the time comes when you have to ask for something, it's not just like out of the blue, like, Shana, can I get connected to your network? It's like, oh, hey, like, I seen that you was connected to this person. Do you mind? Adrian did this for me, for someone who worked at one of my dream 100 companies. And she's like, oh, I know somebody who works there. She's not in a division you want to work with, but, she's been there long enough. She knows somebody. So I say, all that to say is that you got to nurture the individuals and then don't count anyone out, no matter what the circumstances are.
That's it.
You might not want to talk to them again, but don't go crazy.
That's right. That's right. Don't go in there kicking stuff over. Don't go in there smashing desks. Don't do it. Here's why too, though, because, to Shana's point, right? We never know who we might need or be able to leverage down the line. Right. Y'all know I talk about relationship building all the time. And friend, I heard you say a particular platform. You said it twice. And so my heart went fit a fad when you mentioned it. What platform was
I said LinkedIn. I said LinkedIn.
Listen, y'all, you can't beat it. Like, I'm not here to champion LinkedIn, although I do it every day. But for relationships, for long-term relationships, for lucrative contracts, for bigger contracts, you really can't beat LinkedIn. And I promise y'all, the large or the top 100 company that she referenced is a major company, and I happen to know someone there. So you also have to be good people, right? And be a kind person, so that when someone talks to you, they want to ask you for a reference, or they want to be cool with you, and vice versa. You want to do something for them in return, right? So when Shana mentioned it, she didn't ask me. I just was like, oh yeah, I know somebody there. Because I know somebody who does a little bit of everything, right? You got to have one of those people on your team too.
And she does.
I've always been like that, though. Always a connector. But I love the fact that relationships are key, right? They are key. And when we start thinking about them in that way, and it's not about even taking advantage or using your friendships for that, but it is determining how you can be helpful. I like to operate from the stance of how can I help other people. And so it was not even a second thought when you mentioned like where you were, trying to get an inroad, that I would mention that I know somebody there, right? And so same thing, I tell people, you got to really go into and dig into your network, especially if you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for a contract, a foothold, an introduction, a warm handshake for a relationship. It is key that you go and you tap into your network. I love that.
Absolutely. And I just want to take this one step further and say, 2 other things about that. You were on stage and you were speaking about this, and you used my example as a warm handshake, right? someone who was in the crowd who happens to know the both of us sent me a Facebook inbox and was like, hey, I work at X company, which is a large top 100 too. And they were like, I've been there for X number of years. Would you be interested in, you know, talking a little bit more about me introducing you to the people inside of there? So I never told you that.
Yeah. You ain't never
But
said
that
nothing about it.
happened when you were on stage. And so I was like, oh my gosh, like
That is
absolutely.
crazy.
And so that happened. But then also just recently, like literally as of a couple of days ago, a friend of mine got money, y'all. And I'm not talking about no little penny nut money. I'm talking about high mid figures, you know, 5-figure situation off of a relationship. The person said they reached out to her, said, hey, I see the work you've been doing, and I just want to be, you know, of assistance to you. So here's the process. Here's what I'm going to help you do. And she landed this sponsorship because of the relationship that she had that was also tied to the work that she was doing. So I tell you, people may not talk about it, but they see you doing the work, y'all.
Yes.
So don't take it for granted when you sitting there like, ain't nobody seeing my stuff. Only one person seen it. I'm like, nah, just keep it pushing. Just keep doing and keep your head down. Keep that consistency because people are watching.
I mean, you preaching today. Friend, you preaching today. Listen, if y'all don't get anything else out of this, I'm getting it, right? I'm getting these nuggets. But if you don't get anything else out of this, I pray that you understand how utterly important relationships are, right? Beyond burning bridges, how they can put money in your pocket. Yes. I love this conversation. And thank you for being so transparent and really so open to sharing your own journey and what's happening. You right, friend. You never told me that story about why I was on stage speaking. You out there getting contracts left and right. I was getting deals. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Just such amazing. I really have loved this conversation today. Absolutely. And what I love more is that entrepreneurs like you, friends like you are open to sharing with this audience how they can do things similarly, right? And so nobody is the same, but certainly if they follow your blueprint, they follow what you've shared today, they absolutely can land some contracts as well. So I thank you for that.
Yes, of course.
Now, tell the people how they can find you. Where can they find you? Give them all the good details, all the great information. And if you have anything else you want to share, please feel free to share it now.
Absolutely. So let's just start with LinkedIn. We talking about LinkedIn. So you're going to find me talking all things leadership over on LinkedIn, right? Okay. So I'm at Shana Campbell on LinkedIn. And if you can't find me, just go to Adrian Simpson. I'm there. Trust me. Right. We connected. So that's all things leadership. And if you want to find me on the other side and you're an entrepreneur and you're like, oh man, I've been wanting to get this course out here. I've been wanting to get this digital product, this ebook, this thing, done. And I just can't figure it out. I am your girl. I can help you get your expertise out of your head into the world and get paid for it. Okay. And you can find me all things that over on Instagram. I am Shana Campbell, Shana L Campbell on Instagram. And then I'm also Launch Your Brilliance on TikTok. Love it. And also Launch Your Brilliance on YouTube. So you want to come over and learn first, and you want to see, come see about me, check a little bit more out, you can do it in those couple of places.
Oh man, I love it. Y'all check her out. She's the real deal. I'm telling you, when people ask for referrals for references, especially if you're going to do course content, create any kind of learning and teachable content, Shana is absolutely who I refer. So thank you so much for being here today, friend. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for the invitation. And if anyone else, whoever is listening underneath there, if you get nothing else from this, when Adrian says the warm handshake it's the real deal. Right. So this is the way you go. So if you're figuring out where you want to actually start and you're like, I'm not sure where to start. I don't know how to do this, whether it's with your course and you want to further that, you want to get inroads to a school or a university or whatever. The warm handshake is the way to go. And that's your first starting point. And then you can kind of navigate from there. So I just want to say thank you again, Adrian, for the invitation and for the opportunity to chat with your peeps.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Listen, tune in for our next episode. Y'all have an amazing, amazing day. Take care.
See ya.
Thanks for tuning in to the Warm Handshake with Adrian Simpson. Let's stay connected and continue the conversation. Follow Adrian on LinkedIn and join our community of like-minded individuals.